Hello, everybody. Welcome to Art and Outdoor Life here with John. So, I'm using a 9 by 12 acrylic paper. Normally, I use a stretch canvas or a canvas panel. But with acrylics, you could paint on just about anything. Okay. This pad here that I'm using, it comes in 12 sheets. And I've had it for over a year, and I've never tried it. Off to my right is it's something that you can wash your brushes in. It's got brush holders in it. You can use it for oils, watercolors, or acrylics. And I haven't used that in over a year. Anyways, if you're new to acrylics or not, I think you'll enjoy this video. So, I decided to try a sponge, right? You get these things, sometimes they show up, in packages that you buy, whether it be an easel or if you're buying paint brushes and different things. So, I'm using the sponge to create some cloud, and the sponge gives you texture too, right? Now remember, everything here is loose and it's quick. This is real time. So what I did was I created my sky with some sky blue, a little bit of white and light red mixture. And then I'm just going back and forth with the sponge here. Now, if you're new at acrylics, you'll really like this. You'll really like this. You could frame these on the wall. You don't have to use acrylic paper. This is my first time I ever used it. Barely touching it. Look at these clouds. How you're getting a little bit of tone in there. You're getting a little bit of texture. You're getting some values in these clouds here. So anyways, I was just sitting around and I just wanted to try the paper, right? I mean, that was the whole idea. I was just sitting around, and the first time I ever tried acrylic paper. Again, this is acrylic pad, kind of like you would do with watercolor. You buy the pads, right? I even have some oil pads, paper pads. So here I'm using a mixture. I do have, and I am using, by the way, disposable palette paper. Okay, I've been liking that more and more because you can, you just put a little bit of paint on there, and then, you could throw it away when you're done. And I am using water as a medium, as you would do in oil paintings. You can use linseed oil for your medium, right? But I have a washcloth on the side, a wash rag. So I'm kind of dipping, touching the tip of the washcloth after I dip it in the paper. Now, so this is off the top of my head, like most of my paintings. And boom, we have a mountain, right? Now you can change, in like all of the paintings that I do, I make these paintings to give ideas. And I learned from my own ideas and experiences. So I decided to take, one of those plastic palette knives that you buy. You know, a lot of times you buy them when you buy budget-friendly brushes. They come in them. And I decided, okay, well, let's just try this, just to give a little snow on the mountain and stuff. But you'll see how this all changes. Like, you know, and I do highly suggest this. And with the sponge, tapping it and barely smearing it, you're going to soften the colors. You're going to create different tones and values, right? And I'm only using sky blue here. I'm not using any other blue. So, and basically it's because I only had a few colors that was right there when I started painting. And I didn't want to go digging through all of my paints. If you have a dark blue, you can lighten it up with a little bit of white. You can lighten up anything with a little bit of white. So, one brush I'm using is dry, and the other brush I'm using is a little bit moist. So, I'm feeling out the scene here, right? Now, I'm telling you, you can paint this. You can change your colors, and feel free to do so. Okay? Especially if you're new at this, So, just with the very edge, I'm using dark green, okay? And I'm just kind of feeling along here. I'm like, okay, let's put some trees in. What you're really I think, when I was painting this, I didn't know where it was gonna go. And that's kind of how I am. I like it to be spontaneous. I like the freedom in it. If I was doing this for commission or, as a gift even, I would be more conscious, self-conscious. But, then, and that kind of takes away the fun of it all. And I like my paintings to be fun. Okay, so you're going to see a lot of reflection in this video, in this painting, and you're going to see how, you as the viewer, just follow along if you want to. Get some really nice reflections here, right? But as in every painting I do, things change. And you'll see that in this painting I did. And as if you've been following me, you know that there's always something in my paintings I'm not completely happy about. Okay? But, and as I always say, it's not about that. The reason I paint, is for a few reasons. It's to give you, ideas. I also paint to inspire. And I also paint for my own personal reasons, in case you don't know. So I'm using some umber here, which is brown. And so far it's looking pretty nice, right? So some of that purplish color is actually some of that blue with a little bit of red. And I'm going back and forth here. That's what I do. I don't always do that, but I like doing that. Acrylics dry fairly quickly. In this case, I am using water, but not on every brush stroke. Only here and there. Okay, and when I use water, I stick my water off to the right side in that container, and then I just dab the tip off to get the excess water off, so it's kind of moist. So here I am, I'm coming down with some dark blue. This is a nice looking lake, right? I mean, it's full of color. You got your cool colors, you got your warm colors, you've got just a lot going on here. And I suggest, in regards to the colors go, a lot of people are real specific on their colors. And, you got your dark yellows, you got your, different kinds of reds and blues and everything. And the way I see it is we're here to have fun. We're here to enjoy ourselves. We're here to take a few moments off in our life and just have fun. Just relax. It's our time. It's solitude. It's our personal time. In the meantime, we're being creative. We're letting loose of our creative energies. And, and we're creating things that is our own. It's our own. So I'm just throwing colors back and forth. I know the trees on the right hand side look kind of like cactuses, right? Well, I mean, you can if you want it to be a desert scene, you can make those cactuses. However you want to do it. As always, I get a great enjoyment out of painting. Even though, there are parts of just about every painting I do I'm not happy with. Small parts here and there. But then I remember that's not why I'm painting. I'm not professional. And, so I'm adding some white, and I mixed it with a little bit of sky blue here. And, right now the acrylic painting is slippery. Okay? And I was doing a comparison before I started painting. I was looking at the granulation between the acrylic paper and the watercolor paper. And on the acrylic pad that I have, it didn't say anything about how many pounds. And it didn't say anything about the thickness of the paper. So I kind of went along with it. But I did notice it did have different patterns. Easily, you could see it from the eye, different patterns, just by comparing watercolor paper with this acrylic pad. And I thought that was interesting. But I'll have to look into that, later and figure out, I will say it is Moderna paper. And I've had it for a long time. I just never tried it before. So, I put a little bit too much white on there. And with some burnt sienna, I just kind of went and wanted to outline that mountain range a little bit. Right now, I'm loving the water. I'm liking the reflection. I still don't know what I'm going to do in the foreground. I mean, off to the lower left side, I thought, I'd put like a little, maybe a little bit of a cliff, or maybe some kind of hill or something. So I'm using different brushes here. This is a fan brush. And I'm only using a few different brushes. And basically they're the same except for the fan brush. And it's almost like a rigger brush and like a stiffle brush. So put in some dark blue, or not dark blue, my apologies. Uh, some dark green. I had two greens on here, by the way. I had an emerald green, and I didn't even use it. But you know, that's the cool thing about it. You only put a little bit on, and then if you need more, put a little bit more on. You know, these are from the tube. So, and that's, you know, that applies to watercolor too. You know, um, unless you save your acrylic paints, and there are ways of doing that. Just like oil paintings, there are ways of saving your oil paints. So because it's so, it's very touchy. It's like oil here, you know. So I'm tapping it, and what was gonna become maybe a cliff or a hill, all of a sudden became something else, right? But look what it's doing. Look at this lake. Now all of a sudden, this lake is looking even better. I sped it up because the rest here is all experimental, like the beginning, but I didn't want to drag you through all this. I wanted to give you ideas. That's primarily what I do in all of my painting videos. Some dark green, and I'm just going back and forth. Some white, touch it up a little bit, maybe some rocks, and add a little brown. But you get the point. I hope that you enjoy this video. I hope that inspires you, and paint along if you feel like it. Now there I put in some dark red. And please like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I don't make any money off these. I do not. And every time someone likes one of my videos and I get a subscriber, it really makes me feel good. Just as I hope that it makes you feel good if you're trying this. You could change your colors up. I always encourage people, change your colors up. It don't have to be like the same colors. Use your own colors. But it makes me feel good, and it helps me, it inspires me to paint even more, What I do on the side, is when I'm not videoing is quite different. It's a very personal thing. So now, I did put in a little cliff there, right? And now we add just a touch of white, which is a little bit too much. So trying out this sponge again, I'm just kind of clean it up a little bit. I want to wish you a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, a good morning, wherever you are, whatever time you're watching this. And paint along, subscribe if you want to, and get the noise out of your life. Try something different. Sincerely yours, John.